Hello and welcome to this show called the Canine Companions, doing Oberon's grooming, doing his summer cut. Well, it's the third night, so basically what I'm doing is I want to be using just this comb. This comb's got two different lengths of pins, and if you rub your fingers you should be able to rotate. This is very good for sort of like low level mats, but also it's good for when I want to do the cutting. It's less, because you know how thick Oberon's hair is, and although I can get a comb through it, but this is a much better tool to use, especially with the scissors. So tonight I've been practicing with them, and whenever I'm doing the scissors I always want to put them actually on the frame so that I get a bit more control, because tonight I want to start working my way up to about here, get it all nice and short. Then from that, maybe tomorrow do a little bit of tidying up. So I hope everybody's having a sort of nice week. Tonight I'll be listening to the Kev Baker show on True Frequency Radio, and tonight he's got David Icke on. David Icke's an interesting character. To think about 20 odd years ago people were laughing at him for the things he was saying, and a lot of the things that he was saying have actually come to pass now. So I'll be listening to that tonight. I'm looking forward to it. Give me a... I'm going to have to redo his bun again. I wonder if there's a technique to doing the man buns. I wonder if anybody's got any ideas, any little tips or tricks that they could tell me. So right, so I want to start from here. I'll work on this side. So remember, when you're using these scissors, that's how you hold them. Oops. So what I'm doing here is I'm just going through the layers, take it down a little bit at a time, not overdo it, not make it look really ugly, but take my time with it. Granted, this does get a bit in the way, but you have to work around it, obviously. So here we go. So I just want to do the first top half of his back. Because the hair's nice and long, I can be a bit more generous with the cut, but obviously the thing is, make sure you don't cut too much off in any one go. I really have to get the computer working so I can do this show, because it's much better if it's on OBS, because with OBS I can actually have two cameras running at the same time, this normal static one, but one it can be moved about so you can see, especially when I do the viewing of Obi's haircut so far. So I'm constantly combing and cutting until I get a length that it's desirable. I mean, this is probably the most time consuming part of the job, and this is why a lot of groomers prefer just to shave Tibetan Terriers. This way I can actually choose the length that I actually want and what I feel comfortable with. Oh, you're going to have a big stretch, are you? I mean, a big stretch. And you're going to fart as well. Good one, mister. I would find at the top of the tail here is really, really difficult. And sometimes you can see like one particular hair that just won't do as it's told. Whereas hair curls, it's really thick. That's it. So I'm just fashioning as I go along, cutting a little bit off the top each time, always making sure that these two are between each other so that I know I don't have his skin. The only time I'll actually take the scissors out against the actual normal coat is when I can see exactly where I want to cut. Just a little bit at a time, don't overdo it. Sometimes I find moving back and forwards with the actual comb gets the hair up that I want it. But obviously Oberon's hair is quite thick, so it's much more hard to cut. But like I say, as long as you take only a little bit off at a time, because you still have a lot of hair to actually go through, you can actually smooth it out as you go along. And obviously, the more you do it, the more confidence you gain from actually doing it. See, like when I can rough it up like that, I can see the extremely long bits. Let's turn this round the other way. That's actually on the tail, that bit. I don't want to touch the hair on the tail. As you go through the layers, you'll find that you have to just stop and take stock. And get your bearings so that you don't get too many tangles. I'm at some point going to have to come around the other side of them. That's the only drawback of these. I'm going to, when I get my chance, I'm going to get some electric tape take it down a little bit at a time. There's a lot of hair here, so nature will be forgiving. It's trying to keep them steady. Hey, I'm on you. Calm down. There we go. So, what I'll do is I'll turn them round to get the other side done, but what I want to do at the moment is come around the other side there and have a different perspective of where I've been cutting. Oh, it's been a lovely day today, but we had a bit of rain earlier on there, which was nice. I sat by the window with a cup of tea and just watched it. Right, let me have a look here, mister. Right. Pop into chat and see who's in there, Robbie. Yeah. Let me just quickly say hello, Shannon. Sharon Wilkes. Nice to see you. Hi, Paul. Hi, Nicole. Hi, Elizabeth. Hi, Susan. Nice to see you guys. So, you see it's getting to the length now where, and because he's got that natural curl, it just makes it look quite rough. But remember, the hair on the dog, if you bath your dog once a month, the water you bath it with encourages the hair to grow. So even if you do end up with little line mats and stuff, all you need to do is go over it with the what do you call it, I forgot, sorry, train of thought. Yeah, so what I want to do is I want to get Obi ready for the summer now with the summer cut, but what I want to do is I want to actually go camping again. I miss camping, and camping's a really cheap way of seeing the countryside and going around, and because I got my bus pass I can use all the buses free of charge. So what I want to do is like take Obi around all the places that I used to go when I was a teenager now, like Glastonbury, Cornwall, Penzance, stay at haunted hotels and stuff like that, and take Obi with me because he would love that area. I know he would. There we go. So it's teasing all the big hair out because I can see where it is. Are you having a whinge now? Didn't whinge for much there actually, Obi. There's all different ways of doing the cut. You can do it upwards as well, but when doing it upwards, be careful you don't cut too much off. But also cutting backwards as well, as you notice you haven't got any lines. Obi, over here a bit. think my fingers are getting tired. I mean, it's just learning the techniques of scissors and how to hold them. But I was quite surprised that there's not much selection for combs and brushes. They're all like this, unless it's a wooden brush with a wooden handle. Right, he's getting fed up, but he's gonna have to wait. Eh? You're gonna have to wait, mister. So just brushing forwards, brushing back. Well, at the moment I want to do is hopefully for this Sunday we can get as much done as possible. Right, let me turn you around. That's it. Oh, come on. Turn round. Turn round. That's my boy. There we go. So as you see, I've been doing a little bit here anyway. But I just need to work on this bit. I want to try and get started on up his back. I'll get underneath it so I can cut it. Just a little bit at a time. Definitely a fine eye detail. That if you got that already, you'll have this sussed. I'll stop whinging, mister. So almost cleared the front paws. I mean, when I do the chest area, I'm going to use the clippers underneath here because I prefer it just to be bare. Because you'll have here at the side protecting them. Right, let's get started a little bit. just dig it in a little bit each time. This will take you some time to obviously do this little bit, but you see the gist of it is just getting the hair, making a sweep, combing, making sure you get as much hair out as possible before you make your next cut. What I'm doing is I'm doing it by layers going down, but what I want to do is I want to isolate the top part so that I can hopefully do it very quickly, but that never happens, not will be anyway. I think hairdressers' combs would be much better, you know. Although it does the job, but it's I find the handling of these little implements absolutely horrible. They're not kind to people who's got arthritis. Where's the... No, that's not them, that's not them. I don't even know what I've done with them now, Ruby. Oh, come here, baby boy. So... I think in order to get on top of this, I'm going to have to do Obi several times over the day. I think what happens is in the end up my hands get tired. Just want to make sure I cut that. See, baby? You don't want to cut that, no. So I'm trying to keep the hair maybe about an inch or two away from his body so that I can get a nice shape. And I can shorten the hair underneath, I noticed. A little bit of help here. That's better. Oh, sorry darling. I can get the excessively long hair off, that way it'll be a much easier job. There we go. There we go. I think it's much easier that way if I can grip the hair. Let's see how that works. And go as far as you can get underneath, but don't go right underneath. Yeah, there we go. So it's starting to take shape here. Remember the line cut, it's usually quite thin along this area until it gets up to the chest region where it sort of like expands out. But what we're doing at the moment is we're just getting it nice and short. Yeah, these are starting to ride up my fingers. Also, what I like about when Obi gets his hair cut back is these white markings look really, really nice. Yeah. Come on. Obi, stop. Stop. You're misbehaving. He's getting impatient with me. But he has to know who's the boss. And it's me, mister, not you. Sometimes the teeth on the comb tangle with the actual scissors. And that's something you want to watch out for because you don't want to damage any of the implements. Since they're so bloody expensive. And we get the big bits. I'll use a finer comb. There we go. find that using a comb is very helpful in finding out areas, especially where the hair twists. And usually when I find them, I try and cut them as far back as possible, because that's what gives them the waves. I don't particularly like the waves because I find it they mat very quickly, especially if they've got these things underneath the chin. What I've got to do, I think I've given them enough for today, but what I think I'm going to have to do, Roddy, make sure this is done within a week, is to come and do them a couple of times during the day now, like in the morning, in the afternoon, because it's a much bigger job than I thought. But tonight we did do a damn good job. There we go, Mr. Head. There we go. Over here. There we go. Let me show everybody all your nice right. Let me take you over there and you can have a look. There we go. There's my big boy. There's Toby. Oh, so giving everybody a kiss. Can you just turn around for me, baby? So here we go. Here it is so far. It'll look a lot cleaner as time goes on, but it's just getting it all just nice even length and get all the harshness out of the now lines and stuff like that. But there we go. Anyway, thank you all for tuning in tonight for our third night. I will be back again tomorrow evening at the same time, 9 o'clock. And hopefully we can really get on up in this chest. Try and finish up to here before I start doing the big mane, because he's going to need a bit of work around the chin area. Like it says underneath here, I'm going to cut it back completely, because he's got a few mats there, and that's just because his hair twists. So anyway, thank you for tuning in tonight. I'll see you all again tomorrow. So good night, God bless, take care, thank you for watching. Good night, Nicole, good night all you ladies and gentlemen.